On behalf of the investigative team, I wanted to give you a major update in a development that we've come to in this case, and that is, based on the evidence that we've gathered to this point, we've come to the conclusion that an individual named Anthony Warner is the bomber, that he was present when the bomb went off, and that he perished in the bombing. We base this conclusion on forensic evidence, including DNA evidence that you'll hear about, as well as evidence that was gathered at the scene of the bombing. Because this was a collaborative effort, what I want to do is turn the microphone over to each of the agency folks here. They're going to talk about their agency's role in the investigation and how the evidence that they gathered and how the tests that they conducted led us to this conclusion. So let me start out by introducing Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Director David Rausch.
Thank you. I first want to say that we appreciate the collaborative effort that has taken place in this investigation. Local, state, and federal authorities have worked hand in hand in tandem around the clock since the incident, and it's paid off. TBI agents, analysts, and scientists have been assisting in this investigation from the start, gathering data, checking leads, coordinating interviews, and processing critical evidence in coordination with the FBI and the ATF. Overnight, TBI forensic scientists processed evidence from the crime scene for DNA testing. The evidence was compared to evidence collected from a vehicle used by the person of interest in this case. At approximately midnight Central Time, forensic scientists with TBI confirmed a match of the DNA at both locations belonging to the person of interest in this case. TBI continues to support this ongoing investigation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Doug Korneski, Special Agent in charge of the Memphis Field Office, responsible, which also covers Nashville. I want to take a moment to update you on the intensive efforts of our investigative team. Today, as Director Rausch mentioned, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, as well as the FBI laboratory in Quantico, Virginia, completed their DNA testing of a sample of human remains recovered at the scene. Those results were consistent with the suspect identified by U.S. Attorney Cochran. We're still following leads, but right now there is no indication that any other persons were involved. We've reviewed hours of security video surrounding the recreational vehicle, as well as we saw no other people involved or around that vehicle. Again, this information is what we know after just a few days of investigative efforts. Crucial tips from the public, corroborated by other investigative activity by our team, initially identified a likely suspect. Some expert work by the Tennessee Highway Patrol subsequently uncovered a vehicle identification number from the remains of the suspect's RV that were positively matched to a vehicle registered to that individual. We continue to ask that those who may have known the suspect or encountered him contact our team at the 1-800-CALL-FBI phone number. These pieces of information will help us understand the suspect's motives. These answers won't come quickly and will still require a lot of our team's effort. Though we may be able to answer some of these questions as our investigation continues, none of those answers will ever be enough for those who have been affected by this event. We still have work to do. Our evidence response teams will continue to process the scene downtown, and our agents will continue to follow on each and every tip that we receive. As is often said by the FBI, the greatest crime-fighting weapon we have is the cooperation of all law enforcement with the help and understanding of the citizens we serve. Thank you, and I'd like to now turn it over to ATF, Special Agent in Charge, French.
Thank you. My name's Mickey French. I'm the Special Agent in Charge for the ATF Nashville Field Division. I'd like to commend all my fellow state and local partners. We've had a tremendous working relationship in this investigation. ATF's brought unique resources to this investigation, to include the National Center for Explosives Training and Research, which we call NCETR. ATF's accredited national response team and all of its specialists, as well as the United States Bomb Data Center. These were crucial and instrumental to provide links and resources in this investigation. Additionally, the ability to leverage technology with traditional law enforcement techniques has been crucial in bringing this case to a relatively close. Although we still have a lot of investigation to do, we've gotten off to a great partnership and great start, and it's been tremendous. Thank you.
I cannot truly describe all the hard work that has gone into this investigation since Friday's explosion. We've had hundreds of ATF, FBI, THP, and TBI partner with us in this investigation. And we can tell you that Anthony Warner is the man believed to be responsible for this horrible crime. There is no indication presently that anyone else was involved in this crime. As I've said earlier and several times before, Nashville is considered safe. There are no known threats against this city. A renewed curfew is going into effect beginning at 4:30 this afternoon in the area impacted by the blast. It'll be James Robinson Parkway, to 4th Avenue, to Broadway, and the Cumberland River. At noon tomorrow, the curfew will be in place, narrowed into an impacted area around Union, 4th Avenue North, Broadway, and the Cumberland River. The footprint will get smaller as processing of the blast scene continues by the FBI and the ATF. Thank you.
Okay, at this time we'll try to take a few questions. I know it's kind of hard to hear out here, and we'll address it to the appropriate agency. Just a second.
I didn't hear the question. That's still all early in the investigation right now.
I have a question for the FBI.
I'm sorry.
Was Warner on any authority's radar prior to the explosion?
No, he was not.
Can you talk about the VIN? Was it a VIN number that was found, and how that?
The VIN number, you want to talk about
the VIN
that?
number, how you were, because this blast was, this is a massive blast. How were you able to find that VIN number?
Well, our special agents with Tennessee Highway Patrol are trained in that. We have responsibilities there, and they were able to come out starting Christmas night and then coming again once daylight, came up the next day, yesterday, and just help identify on particular vehicle parts.
So it was a vehicle part that you found in the debris that ultimately led to the identification?
I can't answer that exactly. Vehicle parts help connect the vehicle to the suspect. I believe tips and other information came in to help identify him.
Question for the FBI. I was curious regarding the actual questioning of the. I know that there have been associates of Warner that have been questioned about a 5G paranoia that he may have had. What can you tell us about that?
So right now we're looking at any and all possible motives. We're not at a position where we can speculate on that now. We are interviewing individuals that we've identified that are known to the suspect. We are also asking the public to, if they know him, have spoken to him, or know his ideology or anything that might have motivated him. We're interested in speaking to you. So again, we're looking for those tips.
What type of explosives is there here?
That is still under investigation. We're collecting evidence from the crime scene is being processed at our laboratory.
And have you been able to build a timeline, the days surrounding his life, the days leading up?
We're still working on all those
Anything you can
activities.
say about what was inside his home, any sort of evidence that you collected there? Letters
We
or-
can't comment on that at this point.
Do you consider this an act of terror?
That is one of the many leads that you are investigating, one of the many motives for this.
We're aware of certain things online, and we're looking at every possible angle.
Do you consider this domestic terrorism at this point?
I'm sorry.
He lived alone, or if he had family in the area?
We can't comment on any of that right now.
Can you talk about the fact that this DNA match is made so quickly? We always hear, it takes such a long time to get a DNA match. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So
That's pretty.
I can comment on that briefly. So the question was regarding how we were able to quickly match the DNA. Because we had a known suspect at the time, We were able to have a known sample and then collect some items from the suspect for some relatives as well, and be able to match that DNA positively was his. When we're just matching two samples, it can be done rather quickly. I can't comment on where we got it from.
Do you consider this domestic terrorism?
I can't comment at this point.
Can you confirm that you found non-DNA at the scene, whether or not
We have no information at this point of that.
What would make it?
Go ahead.
Okay, last question.
What would make this an act
Sir?
of domestic terrorism? What would it take to make this event an act of domestic terrorism?
Sure. When we assess an event for domestic terrorism nexus, it has to be tied to an ideology. It's the use of force or violence in the furtherance of a political, social ideology or bent. We haven't tied to that yet.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. If there are any further updates, we'll let you know via our social media channels and our news releases. Appreciate it. Thank you all for your patience.